Okay, so the first thing is your name, when you graduated, and what you did
Okay.
at the mock convention.
My name is Camie Carlock. I graduated in 2013, and I served as one of the fundraising chairmen for the 2012 mock convention.
Perfect. I usually make people do it twice, but you don't have to.
Okay.
Lucky you. I'm going to leave these on. I may look silly, but
That's all right.
that way I can hear it. I did an interview when the battery and the mic went dead.
Oh gosh,
So as
and you
the
didn't
interview
know?
went on, it got quieter and quieter. I've got all this, and every once in a while I'll look at the camera, but don't look at the camera, just keep looking at me.
Okay.
So let's, we'll chat about it, but the goal here is to tell me your favorite memories, using the word memory,
Okay.
from the 2012 mock convention.
Okay. Oh, so just start with my favorite memories right now?
So my question's not going to be in there, so you would start
Okay.
with, one of my favorite memories was the time whenever, or
Okay.
a favorite memory is all the camaraderie, or the, I don't know.
Yeah.
And you can list as many favorite memories as you like, because we're only going to
use one. Okay. Well, it's hard to pick one particular event out of all of the preparation that went into the mock convention, and even during the convention weekend itself, to really capture what makes it so special. I think the fact that it did take months and even years for the executive committee of constant preparation, networking and calling our devoted alumni, working with Professor Connolly, working with previous mock convention executive committee members. I mean, it's just a constant buildup. And as I think it gets obviously more and more exciting as you're getting closer to the date of the convention weekend itself. But I think what makes it most exciting, and for me to look back on that I cherish most, is as the campus gets more and more involved. You get the steering committee formed, you then have your state chairs, and then your state delegates. And then at that point, you're at that amazing percentage of over 95% of our student body that, plays a role in this amazing tradition that W&L has. And I think just looking back, my favorite memory as a whole was just thinking of all the people that mock convention brought me into contact with. I made friends across W&L's campus that I otherwise wouldn't have met. I got to work with alumni I never would have known otherwise. And I might not even be living here in DC now if it weren't for mock convention and all that it inspired me to do, especially as a politics major.
The last part was perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Good favorite memory. Tell me more about the preparation stuff. This won't make it, but it's important to have a record of how much time is required to pull this off.
Yeah.
And in particular from your we'll get into more fundraising, but you can actually we'll go into that, just so, but that's why I want to know about that. But I do want to know about your responsibilities as a fundraising chair. So way before, then during, and then perhaps even afterwards.
Okay. Well, I originally started out as a member of the fundraising committee. I was very excited about the thought of just getting into fundraising. It was something I'd never done before. And while I'm not the numbers cruncher, I wasn't interested in the, actually looking at our funds and how they were being allocated. But I was much more interested in the social aspect of it and working with our alumni, working with parents and showing them why mock convention means so much and why we need everyone's support. And ultimately, all of that support is what makes the group effort all the more special. And I think what makes all alumni look back on mock convention and cherish it as one of their favorite W&L memories, because it is so unique to our campus. But in my role as a fundraising chairman, we had weekly meetings just with our fundraising committee. We also had weekly meetings with the steering committee, which makes up all the different committees, and these meetings were led by the executive committee. And I actually looked forward to steering committee meetings, even though they were late on Thursday nights, and I usually have to come back to campus to meet in the Chavis boardroom. But they were just so fun because I was seeing people from all across campus. I was a junior at the time, so some of my classmates, mostly seniors, and it was just really exciting to get to hear what everyone else is up to, because mock convention really is like a company, and you have all these different divisions of a company working. And so while we have this full update on fundraising, maybe only a handful of people know what's going on. So it's exciting for them to hear our numbers and hear who just wrote a check kind of thing. And then we can hear about memorabilia and, what kind of cool pair of Nike shorts or Tervis tumbler is going to come out with this MockCon logo on it. And we get to hear from the speaker's chair, and usually just teasers of who was coming, because that was always very top secret until the grand debut of who was going to be presenting at MockCon. So steering committee meetings, while they were of course meant to be a check-in for everyone and hold everyone accountable, they were also very exciting because it was just each week it gave you kind of a reality check of what was to come with the convention weekend.
Then, once the convention started, what were your duties?
Well, while my duties as a fundraising chairman were pretty much over, we had exceeded our goal of raising over $200,000 from private donations. I was in charge of the check-in process. So that week leading up to the convention, I was very busy working with our devoted steering committee members and state chairs who also got roped in to help me. But we got our entire student body checked in because they all had to have their pass, and as well as the parents that came on campus, even alumni, and members of the Lexington community as well. So, and that was really exciting for me. I mean, obviously a very at times stressful and exhausting part, as all you want to do is just relax and enjoy the weekend that you've worked so hard to put on. But it was exciting to see, literally meet the faces of everyone who came to campus, whether they were alumni who wanted to come back and be a part of it, professors and their families who were, getting their children, their spouses registered. It was just exciting to see literally the population of who all this impacts. And that doesn't even include the press and their check-in process, and to think, their own viewers and how MockCon was going to reach them as well.
Good. Okay, and then afterwards, what has this, what did it teach you, and how has it helped you post-college?
Well, for starters, MockCon made me appreciate not only W&L, even more, and not just, the student body, but also the administration for being flexible with us, but also members of the W&L staff, the development office. We could not have been nearly even halfway successful without their patience and their willingness to explain things to us, and also they're helping print a lot of paper with our letters, especially going out to the student body's parents. So it would not be possible without the development office, and I was very grateful to get to meet several members of their staff and work closely with them, and get a greater appreciation for how the university works even when students aren't on campus. And as a result, development is a career path that I'm even considering. I work in DC now, and I'm very involved in the alumni chapter, much of which is thanks to meeting older students and even alumni through the 2012 and even 2008 mock convention.
Good. So it's helped.
Yeah.
Let's go back and talk about the money. You've raised the money. Where does it all go?
This might be, well, off record, this might be interesting. Just
this will not make it to the documentary, but historical knowledge.
Historical knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Well, following the 2012 convention, the summer of 2012, I found out I was going to serve as a mock convention trustee. Two other steering committee members and myself, who were rising seniors, we were in charge of selecting the next 3 tri-chairs for the 2016 mock convention. So we were thrilled, and we were first a little bit like, I thought I was done with all that mock convention stuff. This is meant to, I can enjoy senior year now. But no, it was very fun, because not only did I get to meet so many, the bright-eyed and not exhausted from college yet, first years that had come to W&L, but also, ultimately get to play a major role in selecting the next tri-chairs and knowing that I've already made an impact on the 2016 convention. I do plan to give a financial impact, as the little I can give, as I promised the 2016 fundraising chairman, because I know how much those numbers count. So, but it really was very special to get to be a part of it, and I was really honored to get to help select.
So do you worry about where the money goes, or do you just worry about raising it?
I'm not worried, because the administration kind of put their foot down. Professor Connolly has always gone to bat for the mock convention as a whole, as well as the students and self-governance. And so I know that the administration was a bit concerned with how much money was spent in the 2012 convention. So I know that is a very high priority for the 2016 convention, to rein in a lot of spending that was done by certain members of the steering and executive committee. And so while at times that was frustrating to hear and a little disappointing, especially after you've worked so hard to raise it, it's ultimately we're an honorable campus. I mean, I do trust not only my classmates at the time, but also the students that are going to be in charge of the 2016 convention, because ultimately even if there might be, if the administration gets nervous again, I know that WNL is a nonprofit institution. They will make sure that we maintain that status. So, yeah, I hope that, just as it kind of reflects on my mind is, the media seems to, escalate in how much, they care about politics, and the parties themselves escalate, in the real world of, the partisanship. But I hope that mock convention won't fall prey to that and thinking they have to keep topping one convention after the next through high costs of activities. So
the thought being, if you throw more money at it, it just keeps getting
right. And at least unfortunately speakers can be so expensive, and they are usually the most expensive item. We do try and make sure that some can understand that they're promoting education and working with university students, and so I do hope that we can continue to negotiate with speakers for lower costs, as well as make sure that we're not letting the main mission of mock convention run away from itself.
Keep talking with me about speakers. Is there pressure to get top-notch speakers?
Oh, absolutely. That is, yeah.
So say, yes, there's pressure.
Yes, there's absolutely pressure to get great speakers. I mean, that's who, alumni that are even considering coming up to the convention, that's what they want to see. That's what students remember when they look back on their conventions. It's almost like a bragging right among alums from different, not just generations, but, you only see one convention in your 4 years. And so you can say, oh, well, I had Bill Clinton. Like, oh, well, we had John Huntsman or Eric Cantor. And so it is exciting. And obviously, some years, depending on the party that's being determined, that can, that obviously makes for a different pool of speakers to choose from. But yeah, there's definitely the highest expectation is placed on that.
Is that the biggest line item in terms of the budget, speakers?
Yes, as far as I'm concerned, speakers are the most expensive, because there's only, in the 2012 convention, we had our first debate, which I thought was very much worth it and very exciting and one of the most memorable events from the 2012 convention. But who knows what the 2016 or further conventions will add. And, unfortunately, speakers aren't cheap.
Okay, that's a good little end sound bite there. We'll talk at the end about getting speakers.
Okay.
The convention itself, because in 2008, they got it wrong. How much pressure do you remember there was to get it right, even though it was seemingly a foregone conclusion? Was there any pressure to get it right?
Oh, absolutely, there was pressure to get it right. I mean, not even regardless of what 2008 had done, there's obviously that pressure. I mean, that's mock convention's credibility, and the fact that 2008 got it wrong was all the more pressure that it was up to us to get it right, or we might risk losing mock convention's credibility altogether. 2 conventions in a row getting it wrong, that is pretty embarrassing, and thankfully that did not happen. And not only do we have to get it right, but we are also running up against these primaries that keep getting pushed sooner and sooner. And, we can't have a mock convention 2011, but, I mean, the middle of February, that was already, we felt very pressured to having to push it back that early into the 2012 year. And so there was pressure all around. So I was grateful. While I was excited to hear about our speakers coming, I was fine just working on my fundraising.
I bet. When you watch the documentary, you'll learn that the mock convention is, May, June, summer, hot, and then it moves back.
So funny.
I think mine was in March.
Wow.
And then it got pushed back to late March, then early March, February, then right at the end of January.
Yeah.
I guess at a certain point, you're right, you don't want to go back to the earlier year.
Yeah.
Just to do it. But that would be the alternative if it were, late February. It is a foregone conclusion. And it's like, this is an exercise in what? You have talked about this already, but let's revisit it in terms of what you got out of the mock convention personally, and then we'll follow up with what you think it's worth to just students in general. But tell me the value you got from the mock convention, and use the word value in there.
Sorry, let me think about this for a second. Mock convention was one of the activities I valued most out of my, no, sorry.
That's good, out of
Okay.
my 4 years at WNL.
Okay.
That's fun, that actually could go in the front, but,
Okay.
Except we want the word memory in the front, but in this section, this section we may want value.
Mock convention was one of the activities that I was most proud of. Mock convention, sorry, okay.
Yep, just take a breath, because
Okay.
it's really
Yeah.
easy for me to edit, as you saw. It's just a chunk that gets taken out.
Mock convention was one of the activities I was most proud to be a part of during my 4 years at WNL. Between the friendships I made, and not only just friendships among my peers, but also among members of the university staff who I worked closely with, especially in the development office and the Office of Alumni Affairs. But also just, I had never been pushed like that. I mean, no summer internship had pushed me as hard as mock convention did. I mean, I wasn't getting paid. These weren't for these weren't for credits. This was purely out of the crazy ambitious drive that most, if not all, WNL students come to Lexington with. And the hours that were put in, the late nights spent on campus, I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I definitely value mock convention most out of preparing me for the working world. I was not ready to go to grad school yet. I wanted work experience, and I knew that mock convention gave me the most realistic experience of where I had incredible amounts of responsibility, and you had an idea, you ran with it. I mean, granted, you have to check with the exec committee first, but that's the coolest thing about mock convention is that each 4 years, I mean, that's the only one that students see. Most of the time you have no idea how the last convention looked and how it ran. And you hear stories, it's almost like legends that you hear about. Like for us, it was like Bill Clinton came on campus way back when. But it's your mock convention, and it's yours to, it's a huge legacy you're leaving for WNL, and you want to be able to say proudly that you were a part of that one.
Good, that's good. And then tell me, and we've already done this video, but the video was about, was a plea for current students to get involved. It's actually on the website now. But I want to get your take on it any old way, especially, and you can pitch the fundraising.
Yeah.
Get involved. I got involved with fundraising. It was very beneficial.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And this is generic, so it's not kids 2014 kids. It could be 2018 kids. Who knows? So don't give me a date in there. Just tell me the value as a current student. You can use the word, if you're a current student, you need to get involved in the convention because blah, 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 I did blah, 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 it was great.
Okay.
So that's this thought. I know you've said all this before, but the thought bubble here is for current students.
Okay. If you don't get involved with mock convention, you are absolutely crazy. Either you were not paying attention during your admissions tour, or you have been hiding in the Science Center library, because mock convention literally gets almost every single student in this university involved, even law students. If the law students can find time to be a part of mock convention, you should too. Because even if you're not a politics major, even if you hate politics, there is still a place for you in mock convention, whether you're just a state delegate and you want to ride on a float, or if you're creative, if you know how to design websites, if you know how to design t-shirts. I mean, there's literally a place for you to get involved and tap your creativity and even get to know some other people across campus. You can certainly have a grand old time with all your best friends on a state delegation together. Or, I challenge you to get a part of a committee where, you have kind of you heard about it and just kind of excites you. And that's what happened for me when I heard about the fundraising committee. I mean, I assumed I'd want to be a part of speakers because that's, where all the action is, and that's, you're getting to talk to the bigwigs. But fundraising, I just like, hey, that sounds really cool. I'm going to interview for that. That sounds awesome. And now here I am with a passion for fundraising and, hoping to use that as some point in my career even. So you never know how mock convention is going to shape you, especially the rest of your experience at WNL. Whether or not you're going to be a senior by the time your mock convention happens, in which you'll have the greatest potential to have a leadership role, or you're going to be a first year, in which case don't worry, because you'll get to experience spring kickoff by your senior year. So there really is many memories to be made from being involved in mock convention, and honestly, you don't want to be left out of it, because you're just not going to appreciate it as much looking back.
Good, that's all good. All right, so now we're going to transition on to a video that has not been made.
Okay.
So you'll actually make it to this video. And the video, and the third video that we've done a video for prospective students. It's on the web now.
Oh, really?
About the mock convention. You
Okay.
search for it and
Cool.
and watch it. We're doing the documentary. And then the third video, which will be produced this fall
Mm-hmm.
and sent to potential speakers, and we may do a fourth one for donors, or we're going to wrap them together.
Very cool.
So the plea is, and let's do the donors first, since
Okay.
you did the fundraising, for a completely different video.
Okay.
What is your plea to a donor to give to the mock convention?
Okay.
And you can say it several different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're only going to use little chunks.
Yeah.
So feel free to say, oh, I can say that better, and
Okay.
just give me another soundbite.
Okay.
And so this, unlike this other video where the chunks are this big, the donor,
Mm-hmm.
they're very
Okay. I'll just throw out several lines and let you run with it.
good.
Okay. Don't let mock convention pass you by. This is an opportunity for young Americans to appreciate their civic duty and to get involved and to care about the next presidential election, whether or not they even care about politics. This is going to give them business experience, expose them to different skill sets that they will not gain in the classroom, and it's one thing that really sets Washington and Lee apart. There's a reason the mock convention is known about across the country, and we have a 100-year plus history for a reason, and this tradition lives on because it does matter, and because it not only shapes students' appreciation and understanding for our political system, but also helps them develop new skill sets that they can take on with them, whether or not they want to get involved in public service. Because mock convention is essentially like a small company being run at Washington and Lee solely by students. And equipping them with this power and this responsibility is unlike anything that they're going to be exposed to prior to not only the working world itself, but also later on when they finally do get promoted when they're older in their fields. That works.
Be specific now about if a plea to a speaker,
Mm-hmm.
a politician. Why would you, John, politician, want to come and speak at WNL?
Okay. Lexington is not that far from Washington as you may think. In fact, it is a beautiful drive down 81. You can even cut down through the Blue Ridge Parkway. But Washington and Lee, I mean, it is a small school. It is truly a hidden gem in the Blue Ridge Mountains. While we may not be the largest university, we pride ourselves on having some of our favorite alumni, from Mike Allen at Politico to Senator Warner to Tom Wolfe. I mean, they're great people come from this school for a reason, and so you are helping to shape the future alumni that will come out of Washington and Lee by being a part of our mock convention and continuing to make history not only within Lexington, Virginia, but also across our country and the world, which is from where all of our students are from. And you're going to be the name that they remember when they're telling their children and their grandchildren about their mock convention experience at Washington and Lee. Does that work?
Yes. I'm trying to think. Other people, I'm trying to think of something unique from your fundraising thing for the speakers. Because everybody says, the reason that you should do this is because it's a captive audience of kids who are all arguably, future leaders of the country.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We'll show them a great time. Is that pushing it?
That's pushing it.
I don't want to say Southern hospitality because I don't think the university would like that.
It probably would not make it. You're correct. Not with what just came out in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Let's see. So what's a unique twist that you're not shaping future minds, which of course, it is the biggest thing. It's fun. Tell me something personal about it. Did you get a chance to meet any of the people?
I did. During spring kickoff, it was the spring of my sophomore year. I was actually interning on Capitol Hill at the time, and I came back to Lexington for the spring kickoff weekend, where Karl Rove was our keynote speaker right in front of Lee Chapel, which eerily I hadn't attended a commencement prior to then, but then, just a short 2 years later, I would find myself sitting in those same seats, being captivated for different reasons. But to see a figure like Karl Rove, regardless of your political leanings, I mean, I guess you could be a little more enraged if you weren't too pleased to see him there. But regardless, you have to appreciate just for the fact itself that this very prominent figure made his way to Lexington, Virginia, did not let a little inconvenient drive stand in his way. And, to captivate an entire student body as well as professors and members of the Lexington community, just regardless of whether or not you agree with him, it's still, you can't deny that that was a very memorable evening.
Good. Restate it with some more first-person stuff in there. It was
okay.
When I saw Karl Rove, it was a big deal to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Just again, personalize it.
Okay. Well, when I saw Karl Rove walk on stage, I was just like, wow, that he's actually here. And then, even after he captivated all of us with his speech, regardless of your political leanings, I got to meet him afterwards and buy his new book and have him sign it and take his photo with me so I could give it to my grandfather, who was also a W&L alum, for Father's Day. So that was very special, and I greatly appreciated it. But then the fun wasn't even over, because we had a special cocktail reception for the steering committee members and executive committee members at a fraternity house across the street where Karl Rove showed up. So he certainly didn't let any, college banter stand in his way from being a part of the fun and just, again, shaking our hands, taking photos with us, just really, making the most out of his trip and making us appreciate his coming all the more.
Good. Okay. Let's also do a plea for donors.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it important for them to give financial support?
Speakers cost more and more each convention, and unfortunately we can't bargain with all of them, but we need all the help we can get in order to not only get these speakers to Lexington, but also to make this grand production happen. I mean, there's a reason this tradition has gone on for over 100 years, but while sorry, I want to rephrase that.
You lost your train of thought.
Yeah.
It was good though.
Okay.
I like the 100, getting the 100-year
yeah.
tradition in there.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason that the mock convention has gone on for over 100 years. And while we certainly have maintained our alumni support, unfortunately, speakers cost more and more each convention cycle. And, in order to maintain the momentum that mock convention has built, not only in just the convention weekend itself that everything leads up to, but also just our renown across the country, we need all the support we can get, not only from our alumni and our parents of students and friends of the university, but also just members of the Lexington community, anyone who has an appreciation for civic duty and for young Americans, appreciating their political system. And regardless of which side of the aisle you're on, I mean, you can't deny that this is this is a critical part of how our government works. And for exposing students to the electoral process and also just the preparation for an event like this, I think is, it's one of the things that W&L students remember and appreciate most out of their 4 years in Lexington.
Okay. And we'll try to add some one-liners at the end, but we'll be thinking of one-liners.
Okay.
I think we've done everything. So let's do the one-liners.
Okay.
So the first one-liner that you absolutely have to get right is the one that goes in the beginning.
Uh-huh.
And I'll read it to you, and the words need to be very close to this.
Okay.
You don't have to say it exactly.
Okay.
My memory of the mock convention is something I will always treasure. It was so thrilling. Okay? So the key word is memory.
Uh-huh.
not cherish, because the guy just before you said cherish.
Something I always treasure.
I will also treasure. Is
Okay.
The thesaurus lookup. And then nobody says the word thrilling.
Okay.
You could also say awesome, which is current colloquial.
Yeah,
slang.
awesome's too overused.
Okay. But,
Okay.
But in this documentary, it's not. No one else
Okay.
has said awesome.
That's funny.
But likewise, no one has said thrilling.
Okay.
And thrilling is it's thrilling.
Okay. My memory of the mock convention is something that I will always treasure. It was so thrilling. Is that a little too like?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Do it one more time.
Okay.
But don't break down.
Okay, sorry.
Because I can't cut that fast.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's like you're blah 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 blah. Oh, and my memory was so thrilling. Breath and then blah 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 blah.
Okay.
But I only want that chunk, and you only have to say that chunk.
Okay, I was about to be like,
see what I'm getting?
Mm-hmm.
So you can put a hard period there.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the enthusiasm with thrilling. Am I cheesing it up too much?
No.
Okay. Okay.
No, because theoretically I've lifted it out of our conversation.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay. My memory of the mock convention is something that I will always treasure. It was so thrilling. Is that too much?
That's too much.
Okay. Okay.
The first way you did it's good, but you kept on laughing.
Okay.
So tell me about your thrilling memory of the mock convention.
Okay, so just keep going after
Yes,
it.
yes.
Do you want me to say my memory again?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll ask the question.
Okay.
And then you can just keep say it exactly the way you've been saying it.
Okay.
So tell me about your thrilling memory of the mock convention.
Okay. My memory of the mock convention is something that I will always treasure. It was so thrilling. I mean, my family was there. My parents came up from Dallas, Texas. Blah blah blah. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Good.
Yes. Period. Okay. And it was so thrilling.
Okay.
That's exactly it. So I'll excise that chunk.
Okay.
Okay. And let's do some more one-liners. The body of the show, I think there were several cuts back that aren't one-liners when we do the big chunk, but we may need another one-liner or two for the other video, the speaker video.
Okay.
And so the question is, so again, I want to personalize this as much as possible. Yeah. And it's not, please come to the MockCon because,
yeah,
pretty please.
Yeah.
But it's something like that. It meant.
Oh, I can definitely work with this.
The speakers made, but it's only got to be a sentence or two.
Okay.
The speakers made a huge difference. Having top-notch speakers made a huge difference to me.
Yeah. Okay.
In my experience.
Yeah. Okay.
Something like that. Something personal.
Yeah.
Why it's important to you. So the first one we'll do are one-liners for speakers, and you can put a period, and then rephrase it and say it again and say it again.
Okay.
And we'll find the right one.
Okay. Excuse me.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Speakers didn't make me yawn. Okay. Having the speakers that we had made the 2012 convention all the more meaningful to me. I had heard stories about my grandfather's mock convention experiences, even my mom when she was at school in Virginia, and hearing about them from her guy friends at W&L. And, essentially the speakers you have are like your bragging rights to the past and then future mock convention attendees. And who doesn't want to be a part of that? And, maintaining and even elevating the credibility and overall impressiveness of the Washington Lee Mock Convention. Does that work?
No.
Okay.
Too long.
Okay, I have an idea.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Mock Convention was one of the reasons I wanted to come to W&L, and the 2012 convention speakers did not disappoint me. Does that work?
That's good.
Okay.
Puff up their egos. What does it mean to you to have a big name speaker come?
Okay. Lexington, Virginia is a small town in the middle of rural Virginia. So we don't see many people of high regard come through our campus unless they're an alumni or have a special affiliation with the university. So when we get to hear the names of our mock convention speakers, there's already a huge hype about it, but we graciously appreciate that speakers are coming because we know it's not the most convenient university to get to. But like we hope that the speakers realize, it's a very special place to get to visit, and you can't leave without feeling a little bit of appreciation for the beauty of the campus and our surrounding area of Lexington. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least I'm honest with you.
That's okay.
I like what you said. I'm trying to craft it into something shorter and sweeter. Again, we want to stroke the ego of the speaker. So you're asking a speaker to come and speak because you personally got benefit from it.
Mm-hmm.
But the speaker likewise benefited because they were on the national stage, but they're not. They benefit because they twisted your mind and sent you down a different road.
I wish I could say that happened.
No.
The stories I'll tell my kids and grandkids, like.
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay.
You could do some longevity thing.
Yeah. Okay.
It was important to me to see such prominence, and you can generalize. Yeah, and you, like you said, prominent speakers speak because that's something I'm going to tell my kids and grandkids.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like that. Prominent speakers, kids and grandkids.
Yeah. It was important for me to see such prominence. Okay. It was important for me to get to meet and hear these prominent speakers that came to WNL, because that's what I'm going to tell my kids and grandkids when they ask me about my mock convention experience.
Good. Say it again.
Okay. It was important to me to have prominent speakers at our 2012 mock convention because that's what I'm going to tell my kids and grandkids when they ask me about my experiences at Washington and Lee.
Can't say that.
No.
Because you'll tell them other stuff. Again, just
when they ask me
about my why I liked, or one of the things I liked about, or somehow get the mock convention in there.
Okay.
Prominent speakers, kids and grandkids, mock convention.
Okay. It was important to me to have such prominent speakers at our 2012 mock convention because that's what I'm going to tell my kids and grandkids when they ask me about my role in the mock convention and what I remember most about it.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
You'll get it right.
Okay, without that awkwardness of my.
Because that's what I'll tell my kids and grandkids about my experience.
Okay.
And we'll just leave it up to the fact that it's
yeah. Okay. It was important to me to have such prominent speakers at my mock convention because that's what I'm going to tell my kids and grandkids about my experience.
That's
okay.
Exactly it. And maybe a plea, maybe something similar to that for a donor.
Okay.
Your I don't know if we should even use the word financial, but we are going after their financial. Your financial help, goes a long way. My personal experience was that and then there's the same thing that we got, prominent speakers, and that's what I'm going to tell. And so this might be a little longer, but starting with your financial help allowed us to get prominent speakers. I'm going to tell my grandkids.
Okay.
You're the best.
Okay.
Cough up the cash.
Okay. Sorry, what was the first part? Your financial assistant.
So this will be a chunk that's in the begging for money part.
Okay.
Which is not this video. It's a whole nother video.
Okay. Your financial assistance means so much to us for the mock convention because it allowed us to bring in such big name speakers from the House Majority Leader to one of the presidential candidates, and that's what I'm going to tell my kids and grandkids when they ask me about my mock convention experience.
Good. We're going to do it 2 more times. The first time, because you're talking to the person, you're going to have to say it into the camera.
Okay.
Okay. You look right into the camera.
Okay.
And say it.
Your financial assistance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're actually asking for them.
Okay.
And I'm going to straighten this up.
Did I say it meant so much to me?
Yeah.
Is that
because you always want to personalize it.
Okay. Okay.
So you're talking to the person who's watching. You're asking them for money. You really are. Okay. And then and then why, you know, why it's important to you for them to give their money, because that's the only thing you can relate to.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't argue that.
Yeah.
Okay? So right in the camera.
Okay. Your financial assistance meant so much to me because it allowed us to bring such prominent speakers to Lexington for the 2012 mock convention. And that's what I'm going to tell my kids and grandkids when they ask me about my mock convention experience.
That is perfect. All right. So
okay.
Let's go back. And now phrase it in the like you're being interviewed. Why was, you know, the financial as fundraising chair, the financial commitment that people made allowed for prominent speakers. Do you see where I'm going?
Yeah.
So now you're looking at me saying, and I've asked the question, as a fundraising chair, why was it important for people to give money? And the answer is?
The financial assistance was critical for us to be able to make the mock convention happen and to bring these prominent speakers to campus, which is what I'm going to tell my kids and grandkids about when they ask me about my mock convention experience.
You are selling this perfectly.
Good.
That's exactly right.
That's why I want to get back into development.
You should. You should. So any of those will work. So we don't know if the direct plea is what we're going to use.
Okay.
We don't know if it's part of a continuing conversation. Because I've asked people, certain people, and the current tri-chairs did it both ways. They still have to beg for money, and beg for people to participate. And when you're talking to a first, you know, to the viewer, well, you got to look at the camera. Okay, you're not being interviewed.
Yeah.
You know. But on the other hand, if it's part of a documentary style, you know, here's how this all works. Because a lot of people, you know, a speaker may not know how it works. So that's more documentary. The donors, well, of course they know how it works because they've either already been hit up or they're alumni or whatever. So they're and they want that first person touch.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to say about how much fun it was, how thrilling it was?
Yeah, sure. I mean, mock convention is definitely one of my top memories at WNL. Sorry, I'm using memories now.
No, please use memories because nobody else does.
Okay.
And go with that because if you had cut that off right, that part would have made it.
Mock convention is not only one of my most favorite memories from my time at WNL, but also one of my proudest because it worked me to the bone and I had a great time doing it. I got to make friends across all parts of the university. And I got to develop skills that I didn't know I had. And I was challenged in ways that my professors couldn't challenge me in the classroom. And I not only got to network with parents, but also alumni. And it just made me appreciate WNL all the more. And, you know, there's a reason that traditions like mock convention last over 100 years. And, you know, maybe it's just something in the water in Lexington. But, you know, I mean, this is a tradition that people will cherish forever. And it's always something, a part of them and a part of their memories in Lexington.
Say something like, I'm proud to have done whatever.
Okay. I'm proud to have been a fundraising chairman for the 2012 mock convention. Does that work?
And then, that works. And then a more generic, I'm proud to be, proud to have been part of such a successful 2012 mock convention.
Okay.
Don't even put 2012 then. Just, I'm proud. I'm proud to be part of a successful convention.
I'm proud to have been part of a successful mock convention, and especially when we got it right.
Good. That'll do it.
All right. Cool.